I personally would take somebody that is a hard worker over talent every day, because hard work beats talent every day. Those people have an attitude, right, that about work and determination and perseverance that you can't teach. I've seen so many insanely talented people, Jose, become culture grenades in a workplace because they either couldn't take feedback, or they couldn't collaborate, or they thought they were above the team. And truthfully, I was actually one of those guys really early on in my sales career, right out of college. And I got humbled real quick going into enterprise sales. But I've seen people with less experience become absolute freaking monsters, right? Like killers in sales and marketing, because they cared, they learned fast, and they took ownership. And honestly, in growing companies, especially, things change constantly, anyways. So half of the job you hired for won't even look the same in a year, especially with AI right now. So adaptability matters way more than people think right now.
And yeah, that's one of the things that people miss the mark on, like, because it's good that you touched the AI, because to an extent, people forget that recruiting an AI agent fundamentally can look very similar to recruiting the right human hire.
So if we're talking about AI agents versus humans, right? Is that was kind of the question, right? Like that an AI agent.
Yeah,
So I mean, these are very interesting and intertwined conversations that I'm having a lot, not only in podcasts, but with my HR teams and recruiting teams, of what we want to do with certain departments right now across all my organizations. It can look pretty similar, but people think that a lot of the times AI is just plugging it in and it works. But it's a lot like hiring. If you give vague, unclear expectations and instructions and zero feedback loops, you're going to get really bad output, right? It's kind of like when you give a prompt into any AI model. Good AI, like good employees, right? They need context, training, guardrails, and iteration. And just like hiring, everybody wants this magical, perfect candidate or hard worker or person that gets it immediately, or perfect AI tool that fixes everything overnight. It usually doesn't work like that. You still need leadership, whether you're the AI engineer fixing the feedback or you're the manager that's trying to teach. Either way, you still need leadership and feedback.
yeah, I'm gonna say what may be considered an odd take here, but I want to hear your thoughts. That the best pathway to do AI adoption in your company is to become a better leader for your people.
So the best way for AI adoption, I don't think that's a hot take at all, by the way, but the
Oh,
best way,
thank you.
I don't think it's a hot take. But I don't know that it's becoming a better leader. If your if your team doesn't use AI and they're having a hard time with AI adoption, that means they're not seeing you use it enough. It
Mm,
needs to become a culture thing. So not using AI and leveraging current tools is something that's going to leave your company in the dust. End of story. And if you can't communicate clearly, define outcomes, create feedback loops, or document process like we do, AI is going to struggle too. So the companies winning with AI right now usually aren't the most technical, which is interesting. They're the ones with leaders who think clearly and use AI early. So I'll give you an example that, again, I said on another podcast, because the topic of AI and leadership and adoption comes up a lot these days. But it shouldn't be optional for your team to see you using AI. Saying to your team constantly and aloud, I just drafted these 15 emails with Claude and proofread them and sent them out, and it saved me 4 hours today. They need to know that. They need to know how you're using AI. And that will roll downhill, just like how energy flows, right? When you have a leader who is very energetic and really into the company and is very, just uppity, that energy flows out to the company. That flows into the culture. It's the same thing with AI adoption. The leader needs to be using AI tools, showing employees how to use AI tools. Stay on your toes about what you're learning. If you're not learning and adopting as fast as the world is moving, the company's not going to just like do that for you. You might get lucky with a couple employees, saying like, hey, look what I just did, or because they're curious. But if you want your company to adopt, you want your company to adapt, you need to adapt and adopt.
One more thing I'd like to hear from you, and this is not on the direction of AI. It's back to the human side of the equation.
Okay, I like the human
So,
side.
yeah, yeah, this is more about let's say the retention of talent and keeping people engaged. Because there's that principle that money can attract people. Oh, here's a big salary. Come switch companies to my company. But in your vision, what do you see as being the most important factor to keep people within your company?
To keep people within my company. So people stay where they feel seen, challenged, and where they think they can advance and learn. End of story. And money absolutely matters, but nobody's paying their mortgage with great culture. But after a certain point, people leave managers and not companies. They leave paths where they can't advance, learn, and grow. And the best teams I've ever seen feel like they matter, like they're on a mission together with the leader. They understand that mission, and then they have ownership, and then they feel heard, and they feel truthfully like they are growing. I know I can go into stories either about, my sister or my sales intern peers. I mean, I have a phenomenal customer success person at one of my IT companies. Her name is Nikki, and it has been awesome watching her grow and learn. And I think she feels my excitement to her, and she like wants to do more. She wants to get involved. How can she get better? And it's really cool to see and hear.